The ancient Navajo believed in a concept of destiny, that all people had a predetermined fate, a part of a universal network of fate, encompassing all living things. But this destiny was not set in stone. It was fluid, so that if a person's mind and spirit was truly in balance with the natural world, they could control their own destiny.
I clearly don't respect you, and there's no reason to respect you. We're going to go through all of the points as to why you deserve no respect.
And it's fucking infuriating. Oh, no, I understand it. That's the you condescending fuck. Don't worry about that.
I want you to say this on the fucking record so that we can all sit here and laugh at you.
Destiny, he has a fetishization for black women.
My overall point, though, is that I think you're kind of.
I just gotta give it up to Destiny.
Another classic Destiny moment where he had to be like an edgy, sweaty gamer.
You're obsessed with incest.
He's a piece of shit, and no different than fucking Keemstar.
It's preposterous, Destiny.
Anything outside of playing some
let's talk about
fucking video game.
Okay.
Do something besides letting people fuck your wife.
My mind is so blown, I need a second to recover.
You guys are actually delusional. The way that I appeal to Republicans, you call it empathy, I call it treating people like 4-year-olds. Okay, do you understand that you just said so many fucking stupid things in that one sentence? You could probably qualify for special services just off of that statement.
Stephen Bonnell II was born in Omaha, Nebraska to a middle-class family. With two older half-siblings he wasn't close to, he lived basically as an only child. His Cuban mother enforced a strong Catholic and conservative culture in the home, even sending young Stephen to a private all-boys high school. The content that Stephen consumed as a boy was heavily monitored by his parents, but he would find refuge in the television set of his senile grandmother, who would allow Stephen to play the games and watch the films that he wanted to. As a teenager, he would live with said grandmother, who would frequently piss on the floor and euthanize dogs.
My grandma had this problem where she would buy dogs and then kill them. And I remember that I opened my door and my grandma had her hands on the bed and she was just kind of barely leaning over and she was just pissing all over the floor.
The time spent in the care of his demented grandmother taught Stephen to live on his own. After graduating from high school, Stephen attended the University of Nebraska at Omaha to study music, but he would eventually drop out, struggling to balance his work life and his student life.
4 hours in class, 2-hour rehearsals, and then scheduled a 2-hour sectional, and then every weekend a 2 to 3 hour performance somewhere. Holy shit, okay. That's 8 hours. And then my marriage fell apart at the same time because I couldn't, there was too much in my life. There was no way that I could do everything.
Stephen was dealt a bad hand and was now firmly in the rat race of the American middle class, working as a casino supervisor and even as a carpet cleaner for $3 an hour, all while struggling to maintain a marriage and care for his young son. During this time, Stephen started live streaming video games in his free time under the name Destiny, in what was a combination of a hobby and a Hail Mary attempt at finding a way out of his current situation. Destiny slowly started gaining popularity streaming the Japanese real-time strategy game StarCraft. This was when video game live streaming was an unexplored frontier, full of potential, but also extreme risk. Destiny hedged his bets on the future of streaming and became one of the first to quit their job and pursue streaming as a full-time career. Not only was Destiny entertaining, but he was very good at the game, and became an esports athlete for the Root Gaming and Quantic Gaming teams. As a StarCraft player, Destiny was known for his brash personality, talking trash, and speaking his mind in ways that pissed off his competitors.
In the red,
we have the infamous Destiny.
Champion of the world!
Check it out now. I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. The mob comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who wanna profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in these streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in his land, we be gunning. And keep them shook crews running like they supposed to. They come around, but they never come close to. I can see it inside your face, you're in the wrong place. Cowards like you just get their whole body laced up with bullet holes and such. Speak the wrong words, man, and you will get touched. You could put your whole army against my team.
Despite Destiny's in-game reputation, he was still struggling to make a living from StarCraft. His early streaming career earned him few viewers and few wins, and he was stuck in the same rut that had defined his post-high school life. Lots of time and effort without a significant reward. Playing the bad guy was also taking a toll on Destiny in the StarCraft scene, and he was fed up with the toxicity of the community, culminating in an incident in which a competitor insulted someone using a homophobic slur. Although Destiny had used slurs in the past, he was shocked that no one saw a problem with this. This one incident, rather uneventful by the standards of gaming culture in the early 2010s, caused a political introspection in Destiny. Steven had never been very interested in politics, but he would now fully immerse himself in liberal politics. Lucas Nuzzo, a fellow streamer, says that Steven took to politics in the same obsessive way he approaches games. He does a deep dive into anything he does. He reads about it all the time. He talks about it all the time. Instead of StarCraft, Destiny was now dedicating streams to debating subscribers and even his own mother about various topics ranging from abortion to immigration, taxes, and his personal favorite, incest. The most common debate format was Destiny debating a popular right-wing YouTuber on a political topic. In many of these debates, Destiny's competitors would grow more and more frustrated as the debate went on, leading to emotional breakdowns, while Destiny sat there calmly, talking fast and monotone, like a true autist, completely unfazed by his opponent. Destiny was slowly bringing hundreds of young people away from the far right, something he took immense pride in. He had spent years building armies virtually, and now he was building one in real life. Unlike his opponents who always wanted to take the moral high ground, Destiny was willing to paint himself in a bad light for the sake of argument and winning the debate. This was evident in his debate against self-proclaimed fat-ass No Bullshit, where Destiny argued in favor of incest. Without actually making any points and just letting No Bullshit dig his own grave, Destiny won the debate decisively. The first of many victories against popular creators.
What has society ever told you that you've defied?
Well, I'm a fat ass. I don't give a shit what the society tells me my weight should be, or what I should eat, or what I should drink, or what I should smoke, or who I should fuck.
So let's say that we have cheeseburgers, okay? Let's say that somebody says, cheeseburgers are disgusting, right? And then your argument is, well, I don't think cheeseburgers are disgusting. I think they're neutral. In fact, I kind of like cheeseburgers. And then some guy says, okay, well, look at all of these cheeseburgers that have mayonnaise and ketchup on them. These cheeseburgers are disgusting. Therefore, because they have mayonnaise and ketchup on them, they're disgusting. And then you would say, well, no, your problem there is with the mayo and the ketchup, not with the cheeseburger itself. So therefore, you can't logically say that all cheeseburgers are disgusting just because some of them have mayo and ketchup on them. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I mean, we could play what ifs all day. I'm sure you could find a little niche situation where incest is okay, but that doesn't make it okay.
So you agree? Did you just say incest? You can find situations where incest is okay? Do you agree or disagree with that? Because that's what you just said. You just said that you can find...
No, it's not. No, it sounded like you like to jump on people and tell them what they said. Don't tell me what I said, Steven. I know what I said. Oh, No Bullshit. He's like saying this. He doesn't want to come on the show. I'm Destiny and I'm fucking loser.
But the debate that put Destiny on the map was against Sargon of Akkad, who was an extremely popular YouTuber at the time. They debated racial inequality, specifically what were the main causes of it. Sargon's points didn't really make sense, arguing that marriage would solve everything and dismissing all causes for inequality outside of people's own choices. Destiny, despite having far less experience discussing politics on YouTube and having nowhere near the clout of Sargon, made a more nuanced and coherent argument and won over Sargon's fans.
Hi everyone, I'm talking to Steve, who is also known as Destiny, and he's here to talk to me about how he's a disgusting, wrong-thinking SJW.
Pretty much.
Round 1. Fight!
I think it's hard to say that, like, well, black people in poverty today are just there because they've made poor choices when you had laws, like, in the lifetime of our parents that were directly impacting black families. Like, it seems kind of strange to say that this poverty has just happened to be here and it's just for some reason disproportionately affecting blacks, but it's not because they're black.
Yeah, no, but that was 50 years ago. I mean...
That's 2 generations, dog.
Yeah, but that's 2 generations. That's a long time ago.
That's not that long ago. My parents are that generation. If I was raised by parents that were impacted heavily by Jim Crow laws, I think that would have an effect on me.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, because it was 50 years ago. I mean, you would have to be, what, 40? You know, these kids, like, in 2016, who are dropping out of school, they're not being impacted by Jim Crow laws, are they?
I fundamentally disagree. 50 years is a very short time.
To say black people don't have agency is really racist.
I totally think black people and women don't have agency, right? I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that white people or men have agency either.
It's not someone else's fault.
Yeah, but the challenges that you're facing are so much less. I mean, it's kind of like one guy has to jog a mile and the other guy has to jog a mile uphill, and then you go to the guy that had to jog a mile uphill and you're like, well, why did you quit halfway, you retard?
Getting married is without a doubt one of the best things you can do in your life. There is nothing stopping poor people getting married. Married white couple, if they've been married. No, weddings don't have to cost a lot of money.
Absolutely.
They can be cheap.
Yeah.
Black families had a higher rate of marriage. Their parents were married. There are no outside forces telling people not to get married. Genetically incapable of marrying, we're not talking about someone's desire to get married. Marriage rates are pretty much the prime indicator of whether a black child is going to succeed.
I guess I'm not connecting how getting married impacts any of these things.
Destiny would continue debating every mid-level content creator he could, until he would run into his final boss. It's easy to question why a creator with over 3 million subscribers, a loyal fan base, viral videos, probably making millions of dollars a year, would challenge a small streamer to a debate about race realism and actually take the side of the race realists. One cannot truly understand the motivations of one John Tron. They're an enigma. Some say it was fate that brought these two together. Others say it was destiny.
What is it that's so offensive about white people saying they would like to preserve their demographic majority? I don't understand. It always gets into these semantics of
because I don't understand
why
is the skin color so important, and why would you drag the country down holding on to it? If you wanted to fix crime in the United States, the best way to do it would be to deport all of the poor people, because poor whites commit a lot of crime too.
They do. Wealthy blacks also commit more crime than poor whites. That's a fact.
Wait, what?
Yeah, look it up. Not all Mexicans are going to go on welfare. I understand that, but a lot of them are going to commit crimes. This El Salvadorians are going to create the MS-13 gangs. What about these guys? Huh? You just want to let these guys walk over the border?
Sure, and white people can do it too. That's why you have law enforcement. That's why
they sure do, but their crime rates appear to be lower. I am not saying that the country needs to be 100% white. I'm not saying that black people are not as good as white people. I'm not saying brown people aren't as good as white people.
So then why don't you want to address, when I ask you, why do you think young black men commit more crime than white people? Why are you scared to answer that? But then how do we fix it? Do we just kill them all? We deport them? You're not leaving me any options, John. You're saying...
I'm not leaving it! They commit more crime. Kill them all.
You're literally saying they commit more crime. I don't know why they do it. Fuck it. We can't do anything to fix it.
So there's this racist asshat on the internet, and his name is John Jafari. He's a popular YouTuber, he's a gamer, and Gizmodo, using the term comedian very liberally, calls him a comedian, which I have issues with. John Tron has a lot of interesting opinions on race, genetic predisposition, race relations in America. He's basically an alt-right fuckhead.
The debate gained so much attention that it was reported on by major news outlets, and it shook the YouTube political scene. JonTron was called a racist and a white supremacist, but the man whose life was most changed was Destiny's. JonTron would recover and continue to make videos. He lost a few subscribers, sure, but today he is as popular as ever. Destiny, on the other hand, used this debate to launch himself into a career as an intellectual assassin, and he would become the biggest political Twitch streamer and one of the biggest on YouTube, and many more would challenge him and suffer the same fate as Sargon and JonTron. Destiny was now bigger than ever. He had sponsorships, tons of money, was affiliated with actual politicians, and he had a hot girlfriend. Wait, I forgot to mention her. The Navajo called their concept of destiny Hozo. It was a sort of nirvana, where a man could achieve peace with his mind and spirit. The philosophy has been passed down for thousands of years, and it is still present in their culture today. It is a philosophy of peace and spiritual connection. It's completely selfless. Unfortunately for the Navajo, it was a people with a different view of destiny that would see them taken away from their homes and their culture diminished. This was the philosophy of if you want it, take it. Manifest destiny. Max was a Swedish streamer and a Destiny fan. He was also in a relationship, an open relationship, with a woman who is out of his league. Max openly admits that he would be happy with just one girl, but Melina would not be happy with just one man. Max didn't seem to mind though. He was a free spirit that wasn't bogged down by tradition. At this time, Destiny had split from his wife and the mother of his child, still maintaining a friendly relationship with her. But now, newly single and newly rich, he wanted to do what every man wants to do when they achieve success: get a hot GF. Max had invited Destiny to meet him and his girlfriend in Sweden. He knew what he was doing, and that there was a chance that Destiny and Melina would hook up, but he was fine with this. He trusted that this would be a one-time thing, and that nothing serious would develop between Destiny and Melina. After all, this wasn't anything new. This is what an open relationship was about.
This issue is that you're formulating it as it's my girl, when it's no one's girl. She's an individual. She's a human being.
Can we blame a college dropout who had spent years working long hours and awful jobs, struggling to pay for his young family, for ultimately letting his new power get to his head? And can we blame a people who overcame frigid environments, plagues, and conquests for letting their power get to theirs? It's hard to know for sure how well Max recovered from this. He rarely posts to social media and doesn't seem to have a woman present in his life. But maybe he's just had a change of perspective. Maybe he prefers the simplicity of life without social media. Obviously, he cannot reclaim what was once his, but I hope he has found his own, Hozo.
Because a big part of what society does today is that it disconnects you from the human experience. It makes you believe that you're not human, that you are something else, you're labels, you're a vegan, or you're a cuck.
Destiny and Melina, despite some road bumps, are still thriving with the same rules, or lack thereof, of Melina's original open relationship. They are truly an internet power couple.
Ghetto niggas dreams from the hood.
Destiny's rise was set off by a slur, so how ironic is it that Destiny's biggest controversy would involve a different slur? Not even a slur that he personally used, but a slur that he defended, even when it meant his career would change dramatically.
There's a different group to get pissed off at you in this country for everything you're not supposed to say. Can't say fruit, can't say faggot, can't say queer, can't say Nancy boy, can't say pansy. Can't say nigger, boogie, jig, jigaboo, skinhead, jungle bunny, mooly, moulignon, or schwarzer. Can't say yid, heeb, zeeb, kike, maki, dago, guinea, wop, ginzo, greaser, greaseball, spick, beaner, oye, tiger, PR, mick, donkey, turkey, limey, frog, squarehead, kraut, jerry, hun, chink, jap, nip, slope, slopehead, zip, zipperhead, gook. There is absolutely nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with any of those words in and of themselves. They're only words. It's the context that counts. It's the user. It's the intention behind the words that makes them good or bad. The words are completely neutral. The words are innocent. I get tired of people talking about bad words and bad language. Bullshit. It's the context that makes them good or bad.
That takes us back to the N-word with a hard R.
Sure.
Why?
For the particular examples that I was giving, for the particular conversations that I was having, if you're going to have challenging conversations around certain words, I think you should probably be able to say them. Otherwise, it feels really ridiculous to me. That's like
Do you still believe that?
Yes, and not like calling people those words, but in having conversations about those words, I would say that I still believe that. Yeah.
There are a few rules that we as a society have agreed upon. Don't murder. Don't send explicit pictures to underage girls. Don't criticize the Jews. Don't commit hypocrisy. And one rule, maybe the most important rule, which stands above all others, do not say the N-word.
The N-word can only be said if you're black, or Hispanic, or Asian, or Indian, or Chinese, or Alaskan Native, basically anything other than white. Which meant that Destiny, although half Cuban, was barred from using the word.
Destiny didn't actually say the N-word, at least not out loud. He did type it several times in messages, and even claims that he says it all the time in private. But he only publicly said, you should be able to use the word in mature conversation. Obviously not directed at anyone, or as an insult on the basis of race, but just as a word, like any other word. He thinks you should be allowed to say the word if the context isn't hateful. If instead of saying the N-word, I had actually said the N-word in this sentence, would that make me a racist? No, because I am black. But regardless, Destiny was now facing harsh criticism from his own side for the first time.
And he had a falling out with his friend and podcast co-host Trihex.
My feelings have been hurt. That did hurt. I can elaborate further on that stuff if need be. But like, I don't know. Honestly, just knowing that the willingness to even like apologize would go a long way.
What? Apologize for what?
The controversial comments would continue, and so would the criticism. Destiny had never outright supported the rioting in the wake of the George Floyd killing and other instances of police brutality.
But he also hadn't condemned it.
He understood the frustration of protesters and the volatility of the situation, and was a moderate on the subject. Eventually, though, he would be pushed too far. Kyle Rittenhouse was a teenager who killed 3 men in the aftermath of the Jacob Blake shooting in Kenosha. It was ruled a justifiable homicide in court. Despite the haziness of the situation, Rittenhouse was considered a murderer and even a racist by many on the left wing. But Destiny saw not only the killing of Jacob Blake, but also the killings of Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber as completely justified. So in this instance, he saw the riots as completely pointless and destructive. That is why he said this.
The rioting needs to fucking stop. And if that means like white redneck fucking militia dudes out there mowing down dipshit protesters that think that they could torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my fucking blessing, because holy shit, this fucking shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. Like, holy fuck.
Needless to say, this pissed people off. Destiny was getting criticized by everybody on the left,
including former friends Hassan Piker and Vosh, who had been friends with Destiny for nearly a decade before his own career took off.
They each plunged the knife deeper into their former friend.
I guess Destiny had like another classic Destiny moment where he had to be like an edgy, sweaty gamer, okay?
With these comments, Destiny lost plenty of fans, friendships, all of his partnerships, the support of Nebraska mayoral candidate Mark Gagel, and most importantly, his reputation. Destiny was always brash and spoke without a filter, so it was inevitable that he would eventually get in trouble for his words. But once he got in trouble the first time, he did not stop. He would eventually be completely banned off of Twitch for questioning the rights of trans women to compete in women's sports. He was now in the same position of so many of his biggest enemies, banned and canceled for his opinions. Abandoned by his former friends on the left, Destiny would take a long walk to a new group, a new frontier, an unknown. If rule number 1 on the internet is don't say the N-word, then rule number 2 is don't associate with Nick Fuentes. Like Destiny, Nick Fuentes was a political streamer known for controversy. He said things that were more edgy and politically incorrect than Destiny could even think of. He was also an aficionado of the N-word, an avid gamer and a target of the FBI, just like Destiny. They were truly meant for each other. Along with Nick, Destiny was now friends with the streamer Sneeko, who had recently been red-pilled into converting to Islam by devout Muslim Andrew Tate. They were meant for each other too, because of their love for cuckoldry. Soon Nick, Destiny, and Sneeko were streaming together, on huge podcasts like Fresh and Fit, and Destiny's audience was torn. Although Destiny never agreed with Nick or Sneeko on these streams, and challenged them on issues like women's rights, race realism, and anti-Semitism, many still think that just by associating with them, and giving them a platform, that Destiny was undoing all of his previous progress to block the spread of the far right. But Destiny was no longer just a left-winger or a liberal. He was an independent. He was now just as likely to criticize the left as the right. His enemies were his friends were his enemies, nothing was clear anymore. He's considered leaving politics altogether. Only time will tell what the future holds. After all, there really is no such thing as destiny. The Navajo believed that there was once a time when humans and animals lived forever. This lasted until there were so many people that there wasn't room for anyone else. The chiefs held a council to decide what to do. One of the chiefs suggested that when the time was right, a person could die and then come back at a later date. Everyone agreed with this, except for the coyote. The coyote was smart enough to know that this would not solve the problem, and that the only way for the Navajo to live happily was if life was finite and death was permanent. This was the only way. The coyote knew he was right, and so, in a story that I won't describe in much detail here, just know it has to do with a bloody eagle's feather and a tornado, the coyote invented permanent death. For going against the tribe, the coyote was shunned and ran away, afraid of his tribe. He was overwhelmed by what he had done. Was the coyote wrong for speaking out? Or would the coyote have been a coward if he didn't stand up for what was right, even if it meant he would lose everything?
I'm going to make you look at things that you don't want to look at. Because this is what evil looks like.
Yet or Booba?
Both. I can't have one without the other.
You have to.
I can't. I need both. Okay, actually, can you spin around for me? Booba. She was flabbergasted by the answer. Hello? Anyone there? Are you gonna ask me something? Cock or ball?
No.
Yes. What's your name?
Melina.
Can you get me laid?
Yeah.
When?
Today.
With?
Me. What's the best thing about being a man?
Privilege.
What do you think about politics?
Boring.
What is the best thing about women?
The f does that have to do with politics? But